Welcome back to New to Medical Device Sales. I am your host, Jacob McLaughlin, and today I have a special guest. I'm so excited to be bringing you guys Hayden Smart. Hayden, welcome to the podcast.
Hey Jacob, thank you so much for having me on today. It means a lot. I've been listening for a while, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, yeah, man. Happy to have you. So, to go into a little background, you guys, for Hayden, I'll have him talk into it. But Hayden was a college senior, received two job offers from the top medical device companies in the world, which is pretty impressive if you guys don't know what that world is. And so it's just awesome. Hayden reached out to me a little while ago, seeing him go through the process, seeing how committed he's been. It's just a testament to how hard he works, and no surprise that these top companies wanted him. So, wanted to get him on the podcast for you guys, just for you to learn from, because he put in the work, and now he's broke in and he's living it. So again, Hayden, welcome. And just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, thank you again. So just a little bit about myself. I'm from Southern California, and when I was going through college and whatnot, I really wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I started off wanting to become a veterinarian. And one of the biggest things for me, though, was I wanted to be able to help my parents retire, and I needed to make money. Before I did that, I needed to start helping people earlier than 38 years old, which is really where after residency, you can kind of start your life. It's a beautiful profession, but I wanted to do something quicker. So I started looking into other areas like research and development, because I was like, maybe I can cure cancer. That would be pretty cool. I've got some family ties with people that have had cancer, and I'm very passionate about helping others and really just making people's lives easier at the end of the day. So I did that for a while, and I realized, you know what, I just can't sit behind a desk all day every day. I probably would implode because I just have way too much energy. You might be able to power a city with all my energy, but I was so passionate about helping people and really just getting into the workforce that I started networking every day. It was like Monday through Friday. I was up until midnight trying to reach out to people to figure out, hey, like, what are you doing? Like, let's see if that would be a fit for me. How's the culture at your company? And I just kept doing that. And it was day in, day out. And I connected with a buddy who actually went to my same school. And he was doing sales for a company called, or just a bigger company in the medical field. And it was super interesting. And that's kind of where I was like, oh, let's pivot my structure and my focus and look at sales in the medical field, because I've always kind of wanted to talk to people, to interact with them, to sell not only myself, but a product that's going to help somebody. And I was looking at two options: pharma sales and then medical device sales. And I started binging podcasts. I started reaching out to alumni. I did everything I could every day to just figure out what is going to be the best fit. And that's how I concluded medical device sales. And then I went full force all the way every day.
I love it. Two things real quick I want to just touch on is, you guys, the one thing that Hayden did that he's so smart, and it's what I did as well, is I am mind blown by how many people choose a career and they've never even talked to a person about it. They saw a TV show and they're like, that sounds cool, but like, yeah, of course it looks cool, like, but nobody talks about all the different stuff. And so the fact that Hayden just went so hard into talking to everybody, I tell everyone, no matter what you're going to do, you need a call. And going into details of like reaching out to reps. That's why you reach out to reps. That's why we reach out to people. You need to find out everyone knows the good. Everybody hears all the cool stuff, making a bunch of money, hanging out with doctors, right? What's the not so good stuff? What sucks? Like what's like, that was always my questions hey, what's a pro of your position and what's a con? Right? Because with
Exactly.
every job, there's always a con, and you need to learn it. And some cons aren't that bad, but you need to understand, hey, what it is. So the fact that Hayden just was going out, reaching out to everybody just to learn, that's exactly what I did. My first 15 calls when I was trying to break into med device sales was literally, what is this? I don't know what this is.
Yep.
Somebody told me about it. Can you kind of like tell me what you do? And I'm like, after 15 calls, after hearing the same thing, I'm like, this sounds pretty cool, right? But I think that's so good. Number two, real quick, I wanted to just touch on is going into being a veterinarian. I actually still personal train some veterinarians, and they would say you made the right choice. I hear how they talk. And also, like, it's just crazy. I didn't know that profession has the number one suicide rate in all professions. Just again, not to be a Debbie Downer, but like, so you guys do know, for veterinarians, I talk to them about it all the time, because it is, you go be a doctor, you go do that stuff, but then you don't make a lot of money. And then you're like, again, the thing is I've learned over COVID with them is people are nasty. And when it comes to their pets,
Yep.
they are mean, man. They just don't give a crap about who you are and your soul. They care about Stacy the dog that's dead already, and they're trying to keep it alive when it's too bad, right? So it's crazy, but I digress. But one thing I did want to touch on, I would love for you to go into kind of detail because that's a lot of people reach out to me. Hey, pharma or medical device sales? I have my reasons why I chose medical device sales, and I tell everybody when you did the research, what made you end up choosing medical device sales over pharmaceutical sales?
Yeah, honestly, that's a great question because a lot of people can go one way or the other, and a lot of the times people can get confused about what they are. And so my mom actually introduced me to pharma sales because she's been a nurse all of her life. She's really in the field. And my understanding after talking to a few people is it's a lot less being involved, especially like you're not involved in surgeries. And that was one of the biggest things for me when I was doing the vet clinic work and whatnot. Like I got to see surgeries, I got to assist in them. And it honestly, like, it sounds wrong, but I got an adrenaline rush from being able to help and all that. And it was huge for me. So pharma sales, you really don't get that necessarily, whereas med device sales you do. And you're interacting with surgeons, doctors the same kind of way. But again, like medical device sales, you're doing something for an individual a bit more, I think. And you can go to bed at night and rest easy knowing like I actually like might have saved someone's life today. And you're also a salesperson.
Yep. And so that's a great point, and we'll touch on it just so you guys all know, because I know people are like, what's the difference between pharma and medical device? So pharmaceuticals is where you're selling the drugs, right? Whatever pills doctors are handing out at doctor's office, that kind of stuff, medication. Compared to medical device sales, you're actually selling the equipment used in surgeries, or like right, or sold to hospitals or capital, right? It doesn't have to be in surgeries, but like it could be the sponges, like there's the grocery stores or the Amazons that sell the hospitals, sell the needles that they need, sell the gloves that they need, right? But they're selling stuff. Now, the reason I'm going into detail with this is because pharmaceuticals has a horrible rap in medical device sales. And let me tell you why. Medical device sales, and I'm not saying me, so don't give me messages from pharma reps attacking me, right? This isn't me saying, this is just the industry and the stigma around pharmaceuticals. Pharmaceuticals is a lazy man's job. A lot of them can work 2 to 3 hours a day. They're not really selling. They just go to an office and they do a coffee or do coffee, breakfast, or they'll just go to lunch, see the doctor, try to be cute. Hey, doc, do you want to use my stuff? Thanks. And like, there's no selling because all, like, for example, you guys know the difference between like ibuprofen, right? And like Tylenol. What's the difference? Well, I don't really know. They're pretty much do the same thing, right? It's just whatever doctors likes the rep more, right? Like there's that stuff. So it's not really like they're selling. And that's the biggest thing. And I'm saying this to you guys because I know managers literally get on my LinkedIn. I posted something the other day, pharmaceutical, or one of my buddies actually did it about medical device sales, pharmaceutical breaking in. A lot of people think they're going to go pharma and then med device. Med device hates pharma because they look at them as lazy people. And there's no selling. So they're like, you're not selling, you're not doing any of the work. So we're not going to hire you. The only human beings I personally know that get hired in medical device sales from pharmaceutical sales are people that are managers that used to be in pharma. And then they take a shot on that person. That's the only people. No, because I've literally talked to managers. I talked to one manager. He had someone that was in the final round. The VP came in, asked about the background, found out that it was from pharmaceuticals. He said the interview's done right now. You're out. We're not hiring a pharma rep. That's how bad of a stigma pharmaceuticals has in medical device sales because people think that they're lazy and that they don't do any selling. Now, again, I'm not saying they don't. I know people that are in pharma that are great, do that stuff, right? And they do work hard. But the stigma is they only work 2 to 3 hours a day. And I'll be straight up. I've talked to some of my pharma reps. I know pharma reps who were president club winners who told me they worked like 3 hours a day, right? So that's not fake. So it's there, but also just going into detail for you guys, also pay. So for example, pay is normally going to be way under someone in medical device sales if you're in pharmaceutical sales. So medical device sales allows you to make more money. I just say that I had someone reach out. She said she talked to someone in pharma and he was a real jerk, but he was like flexing that he made this much money and he'd been in for 10 years. And to give you guys a piece of advice, like I made more money than him and I've only been in for 2 years. Right. So like that's kind of the difference with med device and pharma. The opportunity to earn is way bigger in medical device sales. So when you guys are looking at it, yeah, you're probably going to work way more in medical device sales than you would pharma. Pharma's like, honestly, I just tell this if I just wanted to like not really try anymore and just go make $100,000, I go to pharma. I don't have to work that hard. Medical device sales, you can make way north of that, but you're going to work more. So that's just really the difference. So you guys really have a clear understanding the difference between pharmaceuticals and medical device sales, but also the stigma behind it. If you guys are thinking pharma, the advice I would give you and the advice I've always received, if you're going to go into pharma, you got to get out within 2 to 3 years. Because if you don't, then the stigma is that you're a horrible, like you've been ingrained into that role and that you're never going to work hard. So just some thoughts to you guys. But let's get back into Hayden. Hayden, so you decided out of pharmaceutical medical device sales, it was medical device sales. And so once that happened and you were like, okay, I'm going to do medical device sales, how old were you? Because I know we were in college. So at what point in college were you? And then what were the next steps for you?
So I was actually 21. I'm still 21.
So it was
But
this year.
yeah, exactly. It was last month that I received my offers. But one of the biggest things I got to say is everyone's looking at this industry like and asking questions like, what's the silver bullet to really get this job? And the fact of the matter is there's no silver bullet. You better be willing to bust your butt day in, day out until you hit the pillow at night. Networking with people, calling people, making relationships, following up. You're in the next stage of the interview process, sending those messages to the people you've connected with, thanking them for their time. You have to be doing that every day and thinking about that. Hard work is going to be your silver bullet, and there is no way around
Preach it one more time for the people in the back, man. You know, you guys listen to my podcast enough, but I literally have people I just like if you guys heard last week's, it was I was being a cranky dude and then I had to delete it and redo it because I was so cranky because I have so many people reach out and be like, I just want a job. And I'm like, and I just want $1 million. Like, what do you freaking do? Right? We gotta actually do stuff. And so it's how you work and what you do and what makes you stand out. And like we've talked about, take everything away, take your background away. Who cares? What are they getting when they hire Hayden? What are they getting when they hire you? What do you bring to the team? Are you going to work hard? Are you going to follow up? Are you going to work those 14-hour days with a smile on your face, get up and do it again? Are you going to be the one who's responsible? Are you going to be the one setting trays when you don't need to? Are you going to be the one running trays when nobody even asked you to? Those are the things you can't teach. And if you can show and display that you can do that, that's what's going to help you stand out.
exactly. And one of the biggest things too is like you can't sit on your butt and expect that these jobs are going to come flying in, even if you have the best resume in the world. Building those relationships, especially with med device sales, is going to get you so much farther because people talk. It's not a secret. Jacob, I'm sure this happens to you every day where you have applicants and then they reach out to someone else and you guys talk about it. And maybe if they leave a good impression, you can push them along.
We have text message threads about it 100%. If I literally just today, somebody reached out to me, they reached out to another person. They said, what do you think? Even right now with recruiters, I literally just called somebody. I got somebody in a recruiting position with a very high end company because the recruiter reached out to me, said, what do you think of this person? I said, hey, I talked to him. I think they're a good go getter. Bam. That person got a call today. That person's now in the interview process, right? That's what actually happens when you leave a lasting impression and you keep going and you're a go getter, right? It's not just good enough, but we talk about it. That's the industry. You don't just like reach
Yep.
out to one doctor and that's it. That's why I try to teach you guys. It's doing the job to get the job. You have to be continuing to do this because that's how you're going to stand out. And like I've told you guys a million times, I went on to detail with one of the podcasts with Pierre about, you know what the top companies in the world aren't doing? Looking for the talent. They have the talent coming to them. They have ADP, Centos, President Club winners who've made hundreds of thousands of dollars coming and applying to them because they want to work there. They're not out at ADP being like, please come here, right? Some recruiters might be, but those top companies are because they're the best. It's the pool. They get it compared to like, that's the problem with a lot of these lazy people that listen and like people who want to break into this industry. They're like, I'm pretty good. They'll just come after me. Nobody's coming after you, man. Like nobody wants you. Like you're not God's gift to this earth. And if you are, you got to prove that. Just sitting there is no good. So that's the conversation. And Hayden's so dead on with that is if you guys are wanting to break into this industry, it's by the work you're going to do, not by what you think.
Exactly. And here's another thing is you genuinely are not offering them anything. They have everything. You have nothing. So even if your resume is the best that it could possibly be, you should be doing 200% more than any other applicant. You should be looking at the competition like, I'm going up against Jacob. Am I going to get this job with what I'm doing right now? And the answer is probably no. You need to be doing more. You need to be networking every day, like we were just talking about. One of my goals was every Monday. I didn't even know this at first. And if you don't know this, you need to figure it out. LinkedIn has connection request limits on how much you can send every week. you need to find that limit every Monday and reach it. And then after that, send out your messages with every single person you connect with, because again, your life should be LinkedIn and Google Calendar, among other apps, to get to know people, to build relationships, to build that funnel so you can really get your name out there.
Yep. And it's so true to everybody that's listening. You guys always ask me what the secret is. Bam, replay that, right? It's LinkedIn, it's messaging people. I got told I was a robot a million times on LinkedIn, right? And this, luckily, mine it was a daily, it wasn't a weekly at that point with LinkedIn. So I just maxed out over 100 people a day on request and sending out and then messages. But yeah, like Hayden's 100% right. You guys need to be reaching out to people. You need to be exploring what other options there are. You can't be sitting still. And like Hayden just said, I say this to a lot of people who reach out to me. You go up against me. Let me just make this clear. I'm going to crush your soul. Not in a mean way, but in the interview process, I'm going to crush your soul. Now, go up against an interview with me, right? And if you think, and I say this out of like laughing, but it's the truth. If you think you've done everything, it's that goes back to the quote by Tim Grover that went viral by the Georgia Tech strength coach. It's losers do a barely enough work and think they did enough to win. Winners work as hard as they can and they still think they haven't done enough. Right? That's something to like really think about, because even when I went in, I was like, I knew I flipped over every single stone. I say that, flip over every single stone. So there's not even a question when people go up. That's why, like, even this, we'll go into detail. You know, you guys are listening. I'm going to just give you a little teaser, like why I get other job offers. It's because I go in and I don't leave another option. It's me, it's no one else. And like I was talking to Hayden, when I do my other stuff, I'm not comparing myself to other people. It's me versus me. I'm the best that there is. And that's what I believe, because I'm going to do all the work, right? And it's what we talked about, why you get job offers, why Hayden got, you guys are listening to him as a college senior, and why he got 2 job offers with top companies in the world, right? It's the mindset, it's the not being lazy, it's the work ethic, it's going after and being 1% better every single day. And know what? Knowing there's competition, loving it, and saying, I'm not going to lose, because it's what we talk about every day. This is competition. And guess what? You put me in the room with the top dog. Let's go. I'm not backing
Exactly.
down once. I'm going to go. And if I get my butt whooped, guess what? I'll be pissed, walk off the court, and I'm going to look at and reflect on what I did to get my butt kicked. And next time we go, I'm not getting my butt kicked, right? That's the mindset you guys always have to have.
Exactly. And you, seriously, for those that are listening, you shouldn't be going to bed unless you've done 110% every day. And going to bed, even if you did that 110%, thinking, what can I do more to impress, to build my profile, to make me the very best candidate? Because when I was applying, I didn't have nearly as much as a lot of these people that were applying. And I just knew that. And I also knew I'm going to do 10 times as much work as anybody else. And I even said that during interviews. I looked them in the eye and I was like, I don't care who you're interviewing, because I am going to do more work than they will ever do.
Yep. And I say this to people all the time, and they don't like to hear it in this world. If you do not have sales experience, which is the majority of you guys, because that's why you're listening to this, right? I didn't either. You're going to work harder than everybody else. And if you don't like that, don't do it. Cool. All right. You just made the playing field way easier for other people, right? Same thing with Hayden. I told people, I know I'm going to have to work 10 times harder because I don't have what they want. I'm going to have to reach out to 10 times the amount of people, right? All right. It's time to get going. Sitting and whining about it's not going to get me any more emails and anywhere closer. So Hayden's dead on. And again, so he went into detail, like when I asked what he did, that's what he was doing, guys. That's what he was doing to stand out during the interview process. Now, with that said, Hayden, what are some of the tips that you could literally be like, because after this podcast, I love it. It's fortunate. I have people just message me today. They're going to reach out to you, right? They're going to reach out and be like, Hayden, I listened to your podcast with Jacob. It was awesome. Hey, can I ask you a few questions, right? What's your advice to those people that are going to reach out and when they say, what can I do? Whether and I always say it because you and I both know this because you've done it, right? It doesn't matter if you have sales experience or you don't have sales experience. What are the little things or what are pinpoints that these people can do to help them stand out and help them start getting interviews and eventually get hired?
Do research. Like, look at who you are going to be applying for. Do research on the company. Do research on the career or the division for your, like, whatever you're applying for, and then find the people within those divisions. Connect with them on LinkedIn. Start messaging them. Get to know the team before you even get in the interview process. Because if you do that, you might get an opportunity to interview before the job listing is even up in the air. And that's one of the biggest things. That's how you can really set yourself apart, especially if you don't have sales experience. For me, I knew that I wanted to go into med device sales. And so I picked up a tech sales job because I wanted to set myself apart. And then I started listening at 8 a.m. every morning to multiple podcasts about med device sales and sales in general, so I could understand the lingo. I could understand what it took to be successful. And then on top of that, I was looking at my Google Calendar and scouring it every day, scouring LinkedIn of what do I have today? Who am I going to be talking to? What pinpoints do I need to be asking them? Or what questions should I be asking? How can I be successful in this role? Because they're not hiring the next associate sales rep or sales associate. They're hiring the next rep or the next manager or the next division head of the West Coast or East Coast. They want someone that's going to be there and succeed.
Yep.
So you have to have that in your mind.
I love that. And guys, please just go back and listen to that again, because the thing I want you guys to keep hearing from Hayden, being prepared, working hard, not letting it, like, we talk about, oh, I'm just going to see what happens. You're going to get your butt whooped if you see what happens, right? Because there's people like Hayden who are coming prepared every single day, are attacking the day, had a plan, knew who they were talking to, right? Like, that's my number one complaint I tell you guys. The amount of people that listen to this podcast, listen to one, reach out to me, and they're like, so what do you do? Who do you work for? I'm like, literally have over 100 episodes at this point. Go back and listen to them, right? It's literally Hayden would do he could literally do the bare minimum and do a 15-second LinkedIn search, and he would know more than most people, because he just took the time to care and be like, oh, I see this person's worked at these 3 companies, had this much experience. Let me ask these 2 questions about that. Bam. He just stood out. And so please go back, listen to what Hayden just said, listen to it, because again, there's a reason he got, as a college senior, 2 top companies reaching out to him. That doesn't happen to many people, getting job offers, multiple, with no sales experience, and just not even being in the real world yet, being in sales or being in college still, right? So again, Hayden, just congratulations to you, man. I'm so excited for you, and I know you're going to absolutely crush it.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And again, for those listening, buy Jacob's book, because I used that as a Bible and then I built on it, and it got me so much farther in the process.
I love that. Appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. And Hayden, if they're wanting to reach out to you, where can they find you?
They can find me on LinkedIn. I think Hayden Smart should bring it up immediately.
Yep, it does.
Yep. Okay, perfect. So just look me up there, message me, I'll accept it, and then we can hop on a call at any time.
Yeah, and the guys, just like, and girls, just so you know, again, like I've said this a million times, please come prepared, right? Hayden's going to be busy. He's an associate. He's going to be working hard, right? You guys can't just, what's up? Like I just messaged somebody the other day. Again, I was very respectful about it, but they were just trying to have small talk in my LinkedIn messages. I literally get 30 messages a day. And I messaged the person back and I said, hey, can I help you with something? Because if I don't do small talk, you want to hop on a call? We'll get on a call, right? But it's got to be straight to the point. What are we talking about? Here we go. Because everybody's busy. Everybody's got stuff to do in their life. But that way you can help yourself stand out. Again, that's what it's about doing, showing that you're a real go-getter. So please, if you do reach out to Hayden, don't be a creep show. We don't like those on this show. No weirdos, please. But also come prepared. And then again, if you guys haven't pressed that like and subscribe button on the YouTube, if you guys are listening, a 5-star review helps us grow this channel. And then I do just want to touch base. Again, it's been awesome. It's just telling Hayden, just got 2 people into the course today. We literally have just 1 spot left in July. And then I'm shutting it off, and then we're going into August. And so what's exciting about the course is, again, I just was telling Hayden, I just got a call. One of our guys, he got in 4 weeks ago. He now has 3 interviews. He's in the 2 of the final interviews within the next 2 days. And so again, within 4 weeks, he went from no interviews to being in the finals for 2. Somebody just landed a job. I have 2 other people who are going through the interview process right now who just got in. So it's a lot of fun. Again, if you guys are interested in, please reach out to me on LinkedIn. We'll set up a Zoom call. But again, only if you guys are actually interested in. If you guys just want to talk, get some information, we can do a call. I can do that anywhere. But if you guys are really interested on the course, I will be in my office just like this. We set up a Zoom call. I have a conversation, and also make sure that you guys know I don't just accept anyone. Like I said, this is my time. I'm making sure I'm not getting people that don't want to do the work. This is not a course you're just paying money and then I got a job. No, you're going to work. Like Hayden said, you're going to do the work to get in. But what I can do is I can promise you that you're going to speed up the process, because I can already tell you what it's going to look like after getting 350 people hired just this weekend. 3 people hired with Smith & Nephew, Medtronic, and Johnson & Johnson, right? So some fun stuff. But again, I've got this down. But if you guys are interested, please feel free to reach out, either New to Medical Device Sales on Instagram or you can also do LinkedIn, Jacob McLaughlin Connect. We'll set up a Zoom call. Otherwise, you guys feel free to reach out any other way. Again, YouTube, Jacob McLaughlin, new to medical device sales on TikTok. You guys have seen me hopefully there. A lot of people are reaching out. So that's a lot of fun. But again, you guys, I appreciate you always reaching out. And I want to say one more time, thank you, Hayden, for jumping on, taking time out of your day. And also congratulations to you on breaking into medical device sales, man. Super proud of you.
Thank you for having me on the call or on the podcast. It's been a pleasure. So happy I could help anybody in any.
Yeah, it's been a blast having you, man. So thank you again. Really appreciate it. And we will see you on the next one, guys. Peace.